Hello and welcome. Nice to have you join us on Newsroom series, reaching you from Channels Television's global headquarters in Lagos, Nigeria. I'm Dominic Iwiwa, and today our focus will be on the northwestern region. But before we get into that, let's have a look at our top story making the rounds at the moment. The Senate has amended the Electoral Act to permit the electronic transmission of election results, leaving safeguards to address potential technical challenges. The decision follows the upper chamber's move today to rescind its earlier position, which had rejected the compulsory electronic transmission of results from polling units to the Independent National Electoral Commission's results viewing portal, IREV. Following the new amendment, the Senate approved electronic transmission without the real time as part of the electoral process, but stipulated that where internet connectivity fails, the Form EC8A will remain the primary instrument for results coalition. Under the proposal, electronic transmission would serve as the primary method of uploading results. However, in the event of technical challenges such as network failures, the motion provides for a fallback option, allowing the manual transmission of results using Form EC8A, duly signed and stamped by the presiding officer. The proposal, however, sparked concerns among lawmakers, particularly over the reliance on Form EC8A as the primary source of election results where disputes arise. The differing views led to sharp divisions on the floor of the Senate, prompting Senator Yinaya Baribe to call for an individual vote on the matter to clearly determine the position of each lawmaker. However, rather surprisingly, Senator Baribe withdrew his call for individual votes moments later. The votes and proceedings were then approved and adopted by the upper chamber. The upper chamber had adjourned plenary for 2 weeks after passing the Electoral Act Amendment Bill to enable lawmakers engage heads of ministries, departments and agencies in the defense of their 2026 budget proposals. We start off in Kebbi State, where the federal government has approved the reopening of the Samia land border in Kebbi State for cross-border trade after 7 years, with stringent security and compliance measures to guide operations. The Comptroller General of the Nigeria Customs Service, Mr. Adewale Adeniyi, made the announcement during an interactive session with exporters, transporters, onion traders and other stakeholders in Birnin, Kebbi, the capital of Kebbi State. The service also entered a strategic partnership with the Kebbi State government to implement the transit corridor for goods destined for Niger Republic through Benin Republic, as approved by President Bola Tinubu.
The Comptroller General of the Nigeria Customs Service, Adewale Adeniyi, arrives to Sir Ahmadu Bello International Airport, Birnin, Kebbi, on a mission to engage stakeholders on cross-border trade. Kebbi State borders Benin and Niger Republic, and the service considers the state as a strategic hub in customs administration. The first port of call for the Comptroller General is the Government House, where he was received by Governor Nasir Idris, who assures him that the state government is ready to provide an enabling environment for the smooth takeoff of business activities at the Samia border.
Today we are witnessing the coming together of the people that matters as far as the issue of border is concerned.
From the Government House, the Comptroller General proceeded to an expanded stakeholders engagement attended by senior customs officials from Nigeria and the Republic of Benin, as well as freight forwarders, farmers, and representatives of trade associations.
Strategic partnership and shared commitment.
The meeting follows the reopening of Samia border in Bagudo local government area of the state, which is a strategic land corridor connecting Nigeria with Benin Republic. The reopening comes with strict adherence to transit regulations.
The National Security Advisor have also been working with all the stakeholders concerned to ensure that we bring up guidelines, acceptable guidelines, that will enable us to facilitate trade without compromising our national security.
The border of Samia will be open very soon and will connect again our countries.
However, the farmers and trade associations appeal to the Customs Service to ensure prompt clearance of goods to prevent losses and damage.
This trade route did not emerge as policy. It emerged because production zones, onion production communities are located in those areas.
He also visited the Kebbi State Command of the service, where he addressed officers and men of the command.
The Katsina State government has approved strategic policy positions aimed at promoting effective governance, fostering partnership with development organizations, and strengthening the state's energy infrastructure. The approvals were granted during the State Executive Council meeting at the Government House in the state's capital.
This is the third regular meeting of the Katsina State Executive Council for this year. The meeting is holding at the Council Chamber of General Muhammadu Buhari Government House, with Governor Diko Rada presiding. The meeting is holding behind closed doors, with commissioners and aides to the governor in attendance. Several decisions were taken during the meeting, which the state government believes reflects the administration's commitment to inclusive governance, youth empowerment, and sustainable development. The decisions cut across social infrastructure, good governance, capacity building, and security, with the Council approving the implementation of recommendations from the high-level consultation on security and governance.
All the recommendations submitted by the committee were accepted and adopted by the State Executive Council.
Details on a new policy governing the recruitment and operations of non-governmental organizations and development partners were announced by the Executive Secretary of the Katsina State Development Management Board.
The first phase has been completed. As we speak right now, the government house is 100% on solar during the day, and the storage complements the evening time.
The Council also approved the installation of a 500 kilowatt peak solar PV array and a 2 megawatt-hour battery energy storage system for public buildings.
A policy that will regulate recruitment and implementation of activities in the state was thoroughly deliberated by all the council members, and the following agreement have been resolved and approved by the council. It was agreed that the policy, which is called recruitment policy for INGOs, is aimed at promoting equitable and inclusive recruitment practices that will prioritize qualified citizens of Katsina State and residents.
The officials clarified that all decisions of the Council align with Governor Rada's commitment to citizen-centered governance, local capacity development, sustainable energy solutions, and improved social services for the people of Katsina State.
Governor Umar Namadi of Jigawa State says the state's government's investment in basic education is producing positive results. The governor spoke during the Basic Education Stakeholders Roundtable meeting at the Government House in Dutse. He said presentations at the meeting showed improvements in school enrollment, retention, and learning outcomes across the state. Governor Namadi commended development partners for their support and assured them of continued collaboration. The Commissioner for Basic Education, Dr. Lawa Yunusa Danzomo, confirmed gains in teaching recruitment and student performance.
A lot of activities are taking place, and the approach is that everybody's interest is to see that the Jigawa State child goes to school, remains in school, gets education, and becomes what he is supposed to become. This is exactly the focus. So I think 4 main issues that have come out of this. One is that there is significant improvement in terms of access, retention of our children in school, their transition from one level to another, and then the completion rate, which is very, very significant. 2, that means teacher employment, teacher deployment, teacher training, teacher attendance in school, teacher teaching in the classroom, and then getting outcome of the teaching is also improving. That's another aspect. Another aspect is the community participation. How do we engage people? How do we engage leaders? How do we engage opinion leaders into our education system? This also is improving significantly. Then number 4 is the issue of instructional materials. All these organizations and organs are also bringing in instructional materials that are suitable to the level of our children from P1 to P6 and those also at the higher level. They are also contributing by producing this either in Hausa, either in English, or in whatever form. So I think, Your Excellency, the congratulations to you for this very, very rare achievement, because it is the political will and the enabling environment have created, and the level ground play where all this are being carried forward that has brought about this situation.
What we have seen today is that the investment we are doing in education is really producing result. What we heard from the donor agencies, the contribution they are giving towards the development of education in the state, and also the outcomes of what they are doing and what we are doing is becoming very, very clear and very evident. So I want to use this opportunity to thank the donor agencies for all their commitment, for all their support in trying to improve the learning outcomes in our state. I want to assure you that as a government, we will continue to work with you. I will continue to create the environment that is conducive for you to work.
A federal lawmaker representing Gada Gorong Federal Constituency, Usman Gurau, has appealed to the youth of his constituency to commit themselves to the pursuit of education, saying education is a tool for liberation and development that is capable of helping the society in solving the multifaceted challenges of insecurity, hunger and poverty noticed in parts of the area. The lawmaker made the call during the disbursement of over 100 million naira scholarship to over 2,030 students from the area to support their academic pursuit and encourage youth in the area to embrace education. He said the gesture is a deliberate step towards providing a secured future of the area by equipping the needed manpower that will engender development and progress of the federal constituency now and for the future. He also used the opportunity to call on the federal government to extend its projects to rural communities, demanding that the Goronyo Dam in the constituency demand special attention to support rural farmers to boost agriculture and solve the food security challenges in the country.
This is a fundamental pillars of economics. Every economy that you see globally that developed to the point that they are now, they first of all started by building their human capital development. And how can we do that? Human capital development is just to develop your human resources. And you can only develop your human resources by educating them, by giving them proper health care, and ensuring that they have a livelihood. So what we are doing in the constituency, if you can track our record, you will see that we are empowering our people, more especially the farmers, for them to go to the farm and cultivate their farms and they get their livelihood. And then we are taking our time to develop infrastructure in the constituency. And now we see it is a necessity to also invest heavily in education sector. More especially our young people in that constituency, they are focusing more in farming as a heritage business. So we want our young people to begin to see education as the light of the life. So that's why we are giving them a free scholarship so that nobody shall complain that I don't have money to pay registration fee or I don't have money to take my stipend and that and so on and so on.
Watching Newsroom series live on Channels Television. Right after this break, we'll bring you the story of Kano APC rallying grassroots support ahead of the 2027 general elections. Stay with us. Welcome back. Young minds and sharp spelling skills were on full display at the first edition of the Spelling Bee competition held in Zaria, Kaduna State, as students from junior and secondary schools competed in an exciting spelling competition. Speaking at the event, Governor Obasani underscores the importance of making heavy investments in the academic development of young people for the future development of the state and the country at large.
The atmosphere is tense yet exciting as students from various secondary schools in Kaduna North Senatorial District gathered for the maiden edition of the Ada Team Spelling Bee competition held in Zaria local government. The event attracted the presence of the Kaduna State Deputy Governor, representing Governor Obasani, the Speaker of the Kaduna State House of Assembly, Dahiru Liman, and the Executive Chairman of the Kaduna State Internal Revenue Service, Mr. Jerry Adams. One by one, contestants take the stage, confidently spelling challenging words ranging from everyday vocabulary to complex terms rarely heard in daily conversations.
Ambitious. A-M-B-I-T-I-O-U-S. Ambitious. That's correct.
Each correct spelling is met with applause, while every mistake reminds the audience just how tough the competition is, especially in a zone regarded as educationally disadvantaged.
This competition is not merely about spelling words. Rather, it is about motivating our students to strive for greatness in their academic pursuits. It is also a platform to appreciate the tireless effort of teachers, parents, and guardians who work to ensure the success of these young learners.
As a legislator, the Kaduna State House of Assembly remains fully aligned with this vision. We are committed to providing the necessary legislative support, oversight, and enabling framework to ensure that the resources allocated to education are efficiently deployed to deliver measurable outcomes that directly impact our children and the future of our dear states.
And the first position, our champion of letters, the king of the match for the junior category is Abdulaziz Al-Hassan.
After several intense rounds, winners for the first to third positions emerge. They're given monetary rewards, trophies and certificates for their impressive performance. Governor Obasani is represented by his deputy, Hadiza Balarabe. For the state government, this competition is not just about winning, but about building confidence, improving language skills, and encouraging a love for learning has been championed by his administration.
This event reflects the values of the Obasani administration, an administration committed to education, an administration committed to inclusion, and an administration that is determined that every Kaduna child must be educated and no child must be left behind. From classrooms to communities, this government continues to invest in the future because the future begins with our children.
I'm very pleased, and from the participants, what I saw today really thrilled me. Their composure, the capacity, the capability that they exhibited. And surprisingly, most of the winners of this event are from government schools. That is a very big surprise. It means that we have started getting it right in Kaduna State.
The event ends on a high note, leaving participants inspired and eager to return next year, ready to spell their way to success once again.
Power. Power. Power.
Now, over 500 residents of Laga community in Birnin, Kebbi local government area of Kebbi State have benefited from a free medical outreach organized in support of President Bola Tinubu and the Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, Senator Atiku Bagudu. The outreach featured free medical consultations, health screenings, drug prescriptions, and the distribution of essential medicines to beneficiaries. Speaking at the event, the Special Assistant to the Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, Bashir Buhari, who was represented by the chairman of Bagudu Boys Association, Sadiq Meyaki, said the initiative was aimed at reducing the health and financial burden on vulnerable people in rural communities, in line with President Tinubu's Renewed Hope agenda.
For this outreach today, we are hoping to get 500 to 600 people, inshallah. At the same time, we are doing this based on the renewed hope agenda of the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and a part of what SA and his own boss, Minister of Budget and Economic Planning of Nigeria, Senator Abubakar Atiku Bagudu, they hope to see that people are getting medical services free of charge. As we know, most of the medical bills are so exhausting that the patient or the person is battling to get some food item. So if you relieve him of getting medical bills, definitely that is going to assist that individual.
This organization have been doing a lot of things like sponsoring people for education, humanitarian things, like having skills acquisition centers, and now we are in health sectors. Now we are in health sector and we are in Laga community. And after this Laga, we are going to another 5 communities.
Now, the All Progressives Congress is mobilizing young people in Kano to support the party's drive for success at the 2027 general election. Members of the party gathered at Dawang Tofa local government area of the state to deepen the unity of the party in the state. Our correspondent Abubakar Salihu reports.
These are members of the All Progressives Congress from Dawakin Tofa, Rimengado Federal Constituency of Kano State. The aim of the meeting is to cement the new political alliance in Kano State, as members were urged to mobilize grassroots support for the party in the state.
This is a very interesting time for us, the APC family in Kano, because as we all know, we just welcomed the executive governor of Kano State into the APC family. So while we continue to be good at ambassadors and patrons of the renewed hope agenda of Mr. President, what makes this empowerment, this 7th one, unique is we've co-opted our brothers and sisters coming from the old NMPP who just came into the APC.
The members believe the effort will consolidate the position of the party in the state, following the defection of Governor Abba Yusuf of Kano to the party.
As I said earlier, I already talked to Engineer Abba that this is a very good initiative. If this will continue from all the appointees and the elected officers, definitely in a very short time, most of our youth will have something doing.
So actually the party is making proud of him, we appreciate him, and actually we are going to support him for all that he's doing.
Dawakin Tofa, Rimengado and Tofa, we are with him and we are proud with him.
Some of the youth were empowered with solar generators and irrigation pumps in appreciation for their efforts to galvanize support for the party. Meanwhile, the Public Enlightenment Movement has showcased selected projects executed by President Bola Tinubu across northern Nigeria to residents of Kano State.
Phases 5 and 6 highlight key road infrastructure projects being executed under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, including the works along Barbara in Jigawa State and Dawano in Kano State corridors, which are improved traffic flow, strengthening commercial activities, and supporting agricultural distribution in major economic areas.
Abubakar Salihu, Channels Television News.
And that's where we'll drop the anchor on this edition of Newsroom series. I'm Dominic Ibiwu. Enjoy the rest of your day.